Lightfoot en Sol Leon vormen het gevierde choreografenduo van het Nederlands Dans Theater. Ze zijn overladen met prijzen en horen wereldwijd tot de absolute top. En daarmee hebben ze uiteraard een plek veroverd in het illustere gezelschap van de Masters dit jaar. Want Masters of LXRY brengt dit jaar Genius Edition naar de Amsterdamse RAI. Paul en Sol zijn met recht uitblinkers te noemen en ik ben dan ook benieuwd naar het geheim van hun succes. Was it something that was evident to become a dancer?
I go back to my childhood because I think that's when things comes like the stronger. So we were 5 in my family, 5 children. So I was one of the small ones and the non very important ones. And then say, oh, and this little one, what is she going to be when she's older? And then I remember I say, I am a dancer. And everybody laughed again. I was like, and then I realized by 19 then if I wanted to be a dancer, I have to do something in my technique or in my career, but I was already performing. So that was really a funny point in my life. When I say I am a dancer, it's because I'm born in Andalusia, in Córdoba, so everybody's dancing. When tourists come, when it is a party, when it's a wedding, I was performing actually.
A puppet theatre was the first thing I can remember. I wanted to be like, to have a marionette. You know, I was obsessed with puppets and puppetry, and then I wanted to be an actor. That was sort of the big thing. And dancing kind of fell in between. I was about 11 when I started, but I can't say that I really knew I wanted to be a dancer until I was like 15. And then I got accepted into the Royal Ballet School in London. That was a big moment. And then I was like, oh, I really want to do this.
You weren't born in Holland, you were born in Spain, you were born in England. How did you end up at Nederlands Dans Theater?
When I did get out of Spain for the first time ever, when I was 20, I came to Holland. And then I remember we came down the train, I saw it, it's like, this is the city of my dream. And then I got to make audition for Het Nationaal, for Escapino and for Nederlands Dans Theater. I came into the studios, it was in this street, what was the name?
The Koningsstraat in Den Haag.
I came in.
Old Hoerenwijk, it was great.
And then I said, this is my house. I mean, I know it's a little bit fantasy, but somehow that's the way I work, with these symbols, and then it's like, it makes you like kind of a map where it's going to go. Yeah. So it's been now 30 years since that happened.
I was at the Royal Ballet School and finishing my time there. I was a graduate and I was offered a contract with the Royal Ballet, and I thought that's what I wanted, you know, to be the big classical prince and, you know, dance with the ballerinas. And Yuri Killian, who is our former boss and choreographer, also a genius. He asked me for 8 weeks to go to NDT, and I didn't really want to go, but I said yes, because I thought, well, it's a kind of a job experience, you know. And I had seen a ballet on television when I was young. I must have been about 12, and I will never forget images within it, and particularly one image when it was a group dance and everybody ran and people fell out, and I never found out what it was. But in the Koningsstraat, I was sent a key in an envelope. It said, show up on January, you know, that's the way it was, January 1985. Here's a key, come on in. So I took the key, I opened the door, and at the end of the corridor was a photograph of this ballet that I had seen when I was 12, and my hair shot up on my arm, and I was suddenly like, wow, this is for a reason that I got here. The Royal Ballet is a beautiful company, but it was very much fixed on classical tradition and heritage and, you know, tradition. Whereas NDT is all about breaking the rules and doing things with yourselves and speaking as artists from your inner sides. And that, for me, just made me completely flourish. And it was like all these elements had suddenly collided in this one place. And I never looked back, I never thought twice.
What do you admire in each other's skills?
The best thing about Sol is that if she sees something a certain way, she gets to it. She has an incredible drive and vision of things, and it's hers. And she won't be shifted. She leaves me space, or other people too, but there is something that's unnerving almost about the way she can find that. I'm very much more external, influenced, busy, too busy, chaotic, dreaming, and she has all of that, but she also has this way of walk with it.
I think it's quite obvious what it is in between us is Jin and Jan. It's totally totally the big example of it. For me, I'm getting inspired because he's totally my opposite. Creativity is about duality. It's not one, it's duality or more. He's a huge inspiration, especially timing of energy, because I have the tendency to go really intense into one route, because I wanted to find out where it comes from, not the root, where the water comes into the root. So I'm quite an inside person. When I see his lightness or his chaos, like not at all, I also see him totally the contrary. I say, you know, it's like the root and going to the branches.
Luckily, he can laugh about it.
But he does. He's a huge movement.
I think you're also a dreamer.
We both dream. Sol has an amazing fantasy.
Yeah?
I love,
wow,
I mean, if I have something of myself, I am very proud it's my fantasy.
How do you communicate to your dancers? Like, are you
That's the other beautiful thing. He's
How
very
do you give
good.
your ideas to your
He
dancers?
speaks very well. He's actually a speaker. I am not. And my dream is always, and I always say that to the dancers, read my mind. And they do. So when that happens, believe me, it's so beautiful.
Dancers are exceptional artists. I mean, of course, I'm completely not subjective and I'm very biased, but when I meet other artists and, you know, you meet musicians or actors or many disciplines within the world, and then you meet dancers, there's something I just feel because I suppose it is kinetic, it is, you know, it's dealing with your own physic, and first you understand yourself and then you have to understand others.
Can it be suffering too, at some point?
Of course there is suffering. I mean, you have to go through the whole cahoot of emotions as a dancer, and that makes you, I think, good artists, which I think really we find in NDT, are ultra sensitive in all directions, and that's why they can handle this.
But it is a process
you know?
it can be painful, but if you are really going to be a true, really artist, it has to be painful, because you have to strip all the rubbish that society, family put to become a pure element of art. And that, I think, a little bit, that's what our experience and our passion, we get to influence people.
This coming year will be 30 years we're choreographing together, so it will be sort of a celebration moment for us and a time of reflection. And I think that that's so much why we sort of feel a little bit like we're guarding this place. It is a place where artists are dying to come and make the very best of themselves.
Well, I hope to enjoy more of your beautiful work. Thank you.
Thank you.